Hello everyone and welcome to this new video. As you may be aware, JMS systems like IBM MQ and IBM MQ do not have native support in Spring Cloud streams. The last project that was attempting to provide this support was deprecated on the 22nd of January 2022. However, the need for this support has been growing among developers who use JMS systems. In this video, I will introduce you to a brand new project initiated by my good friend Mohammed Amin Boutwe that provides support for JMS systems and Spring Cloud streams. In the description of this video, I have placed a link to the GitHub repo of the project. That way you can check it out and give him a star. The library supports all JMS systems through Spring Cloud streams. But for this video, I will be demonstrating how to use it specifically with IBM MQ, which is widely used by most developers, especially in large enterprises and fintech companies. Throughout this video, I will show you how to run the IBM broker using Docker. I will create a new Spring Boot project and add the required dependencies. I will show you how to create a function stream using this protocol, and also we'll look at how to produce and consume messages. So this video is going to be jam-packed with content, so stay tuned and let's get right into it.
Hey guys, now let's set up the project that we will be using for this demonstration. And for that, I'm here at the Start the Spring website. I've already set up a simple Gradle project and then give it this project metadata. I'm using Java version 17 and Spring Boot version 3. Okay, so for the dependencies, as you can see, I added web, Spring Web, and Spring Cloud Stream, and also Lombok, as well as Spring Boot actuator. So I've already downloaded this project and also I've imported inside of IntelliJ. So now this is the project inside IntelliJ, and next we'll go ahead and import the rest of the dependencies that we need for this project. But until then, let's look at what we have for now. So basically we have just a simple Spring Boot project with Gradle as built to, and then we have in our dependencies section exactly what we saw. So Spring Boot actuator, starter web, Cloud Stream, and Lombok. And also now we need to bring in the dependencies for the rest of the project. Okay, so I'll go back on the website and then head out to this website right here. So it is github.com Mohammed Amin Boutwe /Spring Cloud Stream. I'm gonna leave the link in the description. Also, once you get to this page, this repository, please make sure to leave a star on this repo. Now we'll scroll down and look at this library. So this library is a custom binder for Spring Cloud Stream with JMS support. That means you can use Spring Cloud Stream with JMS systems like IBM MQ and IBM MQ brokers. So this binder uses Jakarta, blah blah. These are just a description of the stuff, and then yeah, here's some more information. There's 2 versions of the library available, and this version supports Spring Boot 3. So it works with version 3 of Spring Boot, and this one works with version 2.7 or 2.6. Alright, so then if you scroll down a little bit, you see the actual dependencies. So if you're using Maven, you can go along with the Maven dependency. However, we are using Gradle, so I'm gonna copy this dependency like so and head out to my project and paste it in. So I'm gonna put it just right up here. Okay, now we need one more dependency, that is the IBM MQ starter. So it is from this package, so I'm gonna bring it in like so, implementation, and it's from the package com.ibm .mq This from the package IBM MQ, JMS Spring Boot Starter. This one. Okay, so it's com.mq. Yeah, so let me reload the project. We need to specify the version, so I just remove this now to have the stuff, the latest version. Or let's just go with the version 2.0.0. Okay, now it is downloading these two libraries into our project. As you can see here. All right, now that we have our two libraries plus the Spring Cloud stream and Spring Web, we'll now go ahead and start writing our first stream for our first function stream that we use to publish a message. Okay, or maybe before we do that, let's set up the IBM MQ broker.
So I'm currently inside my AWS console. Now I'm going to head right out to the EC2 section where I can create an EC2 instance like so. So I'll click on launch instance and then click on launch instance. Now I'm going to call my instance my IBM MQ worker because this is going to host our IBM MQ worker. And for the AMI image, I'm going to use an image that has Docker already installed on it. So I'm going to search for something like Ubuntu Docker and click enter. Now I can look around in the community to find an image that has Docker on it that I can use. So I'm going to look around like so and see if I can find something suitable. Uh, this one is using version 18 of Ubuntu. Let me see if I can find something more recent. And okay, I think this one will do. So I'm going to select it. And next, I will select my key pair. I already have one already created, so I'm going to use that one. For security group as well, I think I have security group created, so I'm going to use the security group. And that's it so far. So guys, if you are new to AWS and you would like to know more or you want me to make videos about AWS, can you let me know in the comments? That way I can go ahead and do so. So for now, I'll just launch my instance. Once my instance is launched, I can go right here and view the status. By the way, I had one when I was testing, so I terminated it. Now I have this one that we just launched, and I'm going to jump right into it. So this is currently running, and so now I can connect to it. So let me try to connect to it, and there are several ways to connect. I will go with this version of connection, the EC2 Instance Connect, and I'll just click on connect. So now it's going to open a new tab and try to establish a connection for me to the EC2 instance. Let's hope everything goes correct. Awesome. Now I'm connected to my EC2 instance. By the way, if you type in some command like who am I, you can see that I'm the Ubuntu user of this EC2 instance. So let me now go ahead and see if our Docker is already installed. So I'm going to type Docker, dash that version. And this should return me the version of Docker that we have on this EC2 instance. Okay, so it's taking quite some time. All right, it's finally back. Now we have our Docker version. So let's go ahead next and see if we can run some containers on this EC2 instance. All right, now that we have everything set up, we can run our container. So let me firstly run the command docker yes. And as you can see, we have no container running. So I will go to this site right here. It's called developer.ibm.com. So here there's steps to run the IBM MQ protocol in Docker. So I'll just go through it right now and go straight to this part. So this is the command to run the container inside of Docker. So I'm just going to copy this code like so and come back to my instance here and I will paste it. So basically we are setting up a container that is going to run our IBM MQ broker, and we pass into that container these environment variables, set the queue manager name. We also create a volume here. There's a volume, and we have supports, expose, etc. I'll just keep everything as it is for simplicity, and the password remains as password. And I will try to run this. So hit enter. Is now going to run and download the image from this location, this one, icr.io. So that's the IBM Container Registry. This is gonna take some time, so I'll come right back when it's done. Okay, that completed successfully. So now if we do docker ps to see that we have one container running, and it started 40 seconds ago. Now the next thing to do is to head up to our EC2 console here and not yeah the EC2 management console and set up our ports. We need to export a few ports, this port and this one. So let's go ahead and do that. To open up the ports that we need to go under security, and right under security we have security groups. So this EC2 instance is associated with this security group. So I'm gonna open it like so, and I will edit the inbound rules. I already added one here, so let me just show you how to add the second one. It's easy, just click on add rule. And this time around, we want to add it with the port 9446. Let me be sure. I'll come back here and verify. It's 9443, not 6. 9443 is the port, and we want it to come from everywhere. I'll modify this one as well. People everywhere. So that means you can get this port from, you can access this port from anywhere in the world, like any IP address can access it. It's not the best of security, but I mean, you get the idea. So I'll save it like so. And now that we have these ports 9443 and 1414 enabled, right, we can now go ahead and access the IBM console. So to access the IBM console, let's look at the documentation here. We need to, according to the documentation, by the way, if you come to this website, ibm.com/docs, you'll find at this link, you will have access to this documentation. And then to access the console is this should be here. Okay. So you need to visit this address. I'm gonna open it in a new tab and I will change the host name to the public IP. So I'll come back to my EC2 console and go to EC2 and running this one. I'll pick the public IP. Okay. What's this thing? Okay. So I'm gonna put my public IP right. So now when I run this, I should be presented on the screen. I'll just click on show details and visit this website. So I'll visit the website. Okay. It's gonna take some time to load. Once it's loaded, we'll be presented with our dashboard. So this is the IBM MQ dashboard login page, and the username is admin. And the password is the password I will set up during the setup doing the container attack. So remember we copy this line, this piece of code right here, the script to run the container. If you look here, we had set the password to password. So I'm just gonna copy it and run it. So I'm gonna log in, not now. So log in, it's loading. And now just wait for it to log in into the console. All right, things are looking good. Now we are inside of our IBM queue broker. So next, I will show you how to create your queues and create your channels and all the configuration we need to do in here. Let me give you a quick tour of the console, the IBM MQ console. So here we have the home page. You can basically see that it's like a shortcut to almost all the services. So you can manage your queue manager here. You can go to learning resources, but what I want to show you is this manage page. Here, when you come here, you'll see the queue manager that we've created is QM1. Well, when we create the Docker, this command, the container, we set up the queue manager name to QM1, so that's why we have it here already set up. And you can also go ahead and see your queues in this place, all the queues that you have. And you can create new queues if you want. You create one very soon. Also, there are events. You can check your events if you like. You can see your applications that are connected to queue manager. And also here you can look at the connections that you have. You can see the channels, and also you can create new channels. So there are two channels right now. There's a dev.admin servercom and dev.app servercom. These are the two channels that are available right now. You can create new ones by clicking here and create a new channel. Also, you can check your app channel instances. So here you have your network. You can check your queue manager channels, network. Like basically, this is just a basic tour of the application. What I want to show you now is I want us to create a new queue. So we're going to call this queue. Um, we're going to call this one. First of all, when you create a queue, you need to select the type of queue. Okay, where you have to choose whether you want to create an alias or maybe a remote queue or something like that. So what we want is just this one, local queue. So I'm going to call it demo. You put in all cap demo dot queue dot, and I'm going to call it order dispatched. Okay, so um, this queue is gonna be there to receive messages about an order being dispatched. So whenever in our application, for example, we dispatch an order, we want to publish a message to this queue, and then other application can be listening to this queue, will receive that message and go ahead and continue the process. So I'm just gonna call it like this. And if you want, you can give some description, but I'm just gonna leave it like so. And then I'll create this queue. Now that I have created my queue, um, next, let's go ahead and connect our application to the broker. And now let's go ahead and do the configuration that we need to connect our application to the broker. For that, I will go into our application resources folder. Firstly, I will change this file to the application.bmo or NL instead of properties. Now open it. Inside of it, I'm going to put some configuration. First, I will set my server port. I want this at the end of it to 8090. Okay. And then next, I'll need to configure something. Let me first do the Spring application.name. And here, I will specify the application to be Spring Cloud Streams JMS and demo. I know it's long. It's okay. Next, I'm gonna paste in the configuration for IBM. Now explain them to you. So this is the message queues and the configuration. We need to specify these properties in order to allow application to connect to the IBM server. Okay. So remember, I created an IBM broker on an EC2 instance that is running Docker. So the information that we used to set that up That's the information that we can add to the chat. So the username is admin. This is where we access the dashboard passing admin, and then the password that we use to set up the broker, and then the server that it is running on. Well, in our case, it's the public IP of our EC2 instance, and we have exposed, let's say, configured a security policy that allows connection to the port as well as the dashboard ports. This is the port that our application will connect to. Means connect with the broker. Next, we need to provide the queue manager, which is QM1, and then the channel. So we saw there are two channels that were available, so this is one of them. So this is all we need to do for the IBM MQ broker. Also, I want to specify that if you are using Docker locally, you can also go ahead and run the IBM broker locally in your own system instead of creating EC2 container, EC2 instance like I did. And the only downside of that is for people who use the Apple silicon computer. The image for the IBM MQ broker does not work. The architecture of the IBM, the Apple M1 computer, so we need to have an interface computer in order to run it. Okay. That's just the reason why I'm using an EC2 instance to my broker. All right. So with that out of the way, now should go ahead and start writing our string uh, functions to perform some actions. All right, now that we have set up everything and our application seems to be connected to our broker correctly, let's test now our first string message. We'll be using the string bridge from the Spring Cloud strings project to execute our first string message. So for that, I will create a REST controller. So I'll create a Java class. I'm going to call this one order controller. So this other controller, I will annotate it with a REST controller annotation. And I'll set the request mapping to slash orders. Okay. And also I'll be making use of Lombok require adds constructor. Require adds constructor like this. I'll also make a simple service. So let me inject it like so. Private final other service. And as you can see, the service not yet created or created version. Let's set up our endpoint first. So create a post mapping. In this post mapping will return just a basic string. Let's say response entity. String. And I'm gonna call this one place order. And it's gonna take a request body. Like so. And it's gonna be of type order request. Okay. So we will return a response entity and we set the status to the HTTP status of that created. Then the body will return just what I have from the service. So I'll call my service, other service that place order, and I'll pass in this order like so. Let me click here so that you see correctly. Awesome. So let's go ahead and create these classes. This one first. I'll create, or let me create the object for the request object. So for this, I'll use a record. I'll just create a new Java class with a record, and I'll call this request. Now, what is inside of an order request? I'll just say order ID, and I just say customer ID. It's gonna be a long key. Customer customer ID. It's not so basically just these two parts, these two properties. Okay, for test. I will close it now and it should be already imported. Next, let's create our service. So right click here, you package, I'll just create it directly the service. So also for this one, I'll annotate it with the service annotation. Now use the var add constructor. Also, I will add the SLOG notation. This will allow us to do some logging. For now, first thing I want to import is to insert the stream bridge. This, just call it bridge. Now, with the stream bridge, we'll be able to stream messages to topic or queue. Now, instance, now example is up to. So let me come back to my controller. Now this is imported correctly. Let's now create this method. Just click here and let's make create this method. So we return a string like so. All right, now I can return some message. Order success fully dispatched. Okay, just something like this. So what I want to do is I want to log this order request. So to log the people order says successfully dispatched. So let's say order with this ID. I put a placeholder here. Successfully dispatched. I'm gonna on the order request that order ID. Just something like this. All right, now I can use my string bridge uh, to dispatch this order. So I'm gonna send a bridge dot send, and I need to provide it a message queue or a topic. So I'm just gonna put message uh, final name. Okay, so just call it like that, message finding name, and I'm gonna pass the order request. So this I need to create. I'll just create a private static uh, final string like so, and I'll just post this and I'll call this uh order dispatched binding. Okay. So I'll just call this like this. Now I will define this binding now. Let's in the in our let me correct this spelling in our application the YAML file. Okay. So to do that, I will firstly need to come here. So Spring Cloud stream bindings. So the stream Spring Cloud stream bindings. Yeah, we can specify all of our bindings. So this is the binding. This binding is a map. Look at it. It's a map and it has some bindings. So this can be any name you want. Okay. So this binding is going to the destination. Now the destination is the key that you have provisioned in your um, IBM broker. So I will go there for reference. And I think I was logged out. So let me log in again. Admin and the password, if I can recall, let me come back. It's the same password. Sorry, it's correct. Paste it. And let's log in again. I'll save this. Awesome. So we are in. I'll just click on manage. And remember, we created this queue. Order this part. So I'll just copy the queue name like so. Is order this part. Remove order this part. So we specify firstly the protocol. So it's queue. So and I think you have to put forward slash, and then you specify the topic. Okay, not the topic, but the actual key, since we are using IBM MQ. So this is it. Now, if I save this and start my application, it should um, it should connect everything. It should connect to my IBM MQ using this email configuration information. And when I call this endpoint, when I post a message to this endpoint, it should initiate an order request. Okay, so this is the flow. It will initiate an order request and place an order with this request. So when it's placing an order, I'm just logging the order ID with this message and then streaming the message to my broker. All right. So this is like publishing the message. This is where I'm publishing the message. And then I'm just returning this. So let's test this out. I have Postman set up here with listing already. So I have a payload here with auto ID, customer ID. So I just call this one customer 101. I mean auto ID 101, customer 1. Okay. So now I will send that message. As you can see, auto successfully dispatched. So now let's check our application log. We should see that we were able to post a message. So if you look here, you can see that order 101 successfully dispatched. And this was dispatched to this queue. Now let's verify that our message is actually inside of our queue. So this is the queue. I'm just gonna refresh. If you look here, you can see that we have a brand new message. It arrived at 7:32 and the time is 7:33. So this message just came in. And this message is going to stay in our queue until it is consumed. Okay. So now that we've seen how to uh, publish a message to our queue, next I'm going to show you how to um, consume that message, this message that we have published here from the queue. So I'll show you that next. Streaming messages from your message queue is straightforward. All you have to do is with Spring Cloud Streams, you set up a consumer bean that will um, that you register in your Spring Cloud. You register as a function and set an input or output binding to that specific function. So the way you do it is you have to firstly set up a bean. So I'll create a class like so. I'll set up a new Java class and I'll call this one other functions, something like this. And for this, I'll just annotate it with a component. That way I can create beans within it. So create a new bean like so. And this is going to be a function, but of type consumer. It's going to be a consumer function. And this consumer function is going to take a message, Spring, the message from Spring Framework, this one. And this is going to be of type order request. Remember the order request that we created? Now I can call this one process order. So basically when our function, when we dispatch an order to our messaging queue, another service, will now be listening to that order that is also subscribed to the queue will receive the message that we publish, and then it will receive it and process it. So in our use case, it's gonna be like we have an order request that came in through the other service. The other service did what it could do with it, and then dispatch that order. And then another service, maybe the order processing service, will receive that dispatched order, and then it's going to process that dispatch order. So basically, this is the idea. Now, this is going to simulate the process service, for example. And all I'm going to do here is firstly, let me do the SL4J thing so that I can be able to log easily. I want to log, let me get the value first. So first I want to get the value from this payload. So I'm going to call it order request. And by the way, you have to do this inside of lambda function like so. So this is going to return an event, and then we can continue to do our processing like so. Okay, this is the way to do it. So now I can do this, and I can grab this event and then get the payload associated with it, like so. Now this payload is going to be of type auto request, so I can now go directly and log the message. So say order order request, and maybe the order request is being processed. For example, I'll just do this and grab the order ID like so. And yeah, I think, oh, I can do log.info, not just log. All right, order request is being processed, and this should not be plus, but instead a comma. Okay, awesome. Now we're looking good. So basically, in this body here, like in this block, you can actually write all of your business logic, all of the things that you want to do when you receive this new order request. Now let's go ahead and we need to register this function, this consumer function. We need to register it with the framework. So to do that, I'll copy this and come inside the application to the YAML file. And here, um, you define a function like so. So you define a function, Spring Cloud function, and specify the name of the function. Now, after you have done the function definition, you need to specify the binding for the function. All right, so the binding for this will be the name of the function. So it's going to be process order, and then you specify the direction of the input, whether it's an input binding or it's an output binding. So in this case, it's going to be an input binding, and then the index will be 0. So now you can specify the destination just like you did for this one, and it's going to be this queue. So this is the queue that this binding is associated with. Now when I save and then load my application, okay, everything is started up correctly. So I'm going to clear the logs right now so that we can see. So I'm going to attempt to send a request like before, a new order request, and you see it pass successfully. Now let's check our queue. If I refresh this queue, you will see, I need to log in. I've been out for a while. The password is PSSW0RD, I guess. Oh yeah, that's it. Okay, not now. So let's go to our message queue. This is the message queue we have. And you can see we have no message in it. Why? Because the message I got in there was consumed. So let's see our message, our application logs. You can see clearly here that we publish a message, and this message was published to this queue, and later it was consumed by another by a listener. So this is how you can define a function to consume messages from a queue. It's pretty straightforward, no hard time, and all of this is happening with the help of the Spring Cloud binding solution. And thanks to Mohammed Amin also for bringing in the JMS implementation for that to provide support for that messaging system as well.